hate to say it, I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. He could be walking down the street and I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man. Who is Robbie Williams? No, not Robin Williams. Robbie Williams. No, he's not Pacey from Dawson's Creek either. Your reaction to me asking who is Robbie Williams probably went one of two ways. Either, I think I may have heard about this guy having a movie, but I've never heard of him before that. Or you're saying, blimey. Oh no. How can you not know Robbie Williams? That's bollocks. Melt, mugged off. He's my type on paper. I would like to formally apologize right now. I'm not very good at a British accent. Robbie Williams is a singer whose music career started in 1990 with a boy band called Take That. And then he went solo in 1996 and had a very successful career with multiple high-charting songs. In the UK. Robbie recently had a documentary made about him and his life called Better Man, and more on the movie later. But since it has come out, my TikTok has been feeding me a lot of content revolving around this man and how he's a legend in the UK. And also the fact that Americans have no idea who he is.
I don't know who the hell Robbie Williams is.
Who is Robbie Williams, and why does he have a movie with a monkey CGI'd as himself? We don't even know who he is here.
Because, like, this is no shade to this individual at all. Okay, I'm sure he's a nice person. But who in the fuck is Robbie Williams?
Nobody knows who the fuck Robbie Williams is.
Naturally, this struck up some debate between the US and the UK, relit our long-standing beef. If you didn't already know, the American versus British beef does run pretty deep. On the American side, they are kind of taking jabs at Robbie Williams, basically painting him as like a nobody and saying his songs sound like Target back-to-school ad music.
As an American, I don't even really know who Robbie Williams is. None of his songs look familiar. I have them pulled up now. I don't know why they're pushing this so hard. It's just pissing me off.
There's a reason Robbie Williams never made it big in America. It's because we don't like him. The music is not good, and the music y'all keep playing to tell us that he's good, we don't like it.
And to be honest, I kind of agree with those points. I did not know who he was before 2 weeks ago, and the music that I have heard from him does kind of make me feel like I'm shopping in a TJ Maxx. But I love TJ Maxx. And pretty much all pop stars have music that make me feel like that, and I still like and listen to them, so that doesn't necessarily deter me. Also, Americans who didn't know who Robbie was are just clowning on the fact that he gets his own movie in general, and are judging the movie for making it seem like he's like a full-on hard rock star, specifically goofing on this clip.
In the next 2 hours, your ass is mine!
Because yeah, Robbie is a pop singer. None of the songs I've heard quite match that energy. And then on the British side, they are saying Robbie Williams is legendary with his hit songs and his performances where he can do things like this. Sure, Robbie's Angels, you're right. Here in the US, we don't have any performers who can do something like that. They just do full acrobatic routines flying through the air and flipping around. But yeah, Robbie's Angels, the hanging upside down thing, that's pretty cool. Also on the British side, they're saying us Americans don't get Robbie because we're not a monarchy.
The Americans like their celebrities to be above them. They have Michael Jackson as the king of pop. They had Madonna as the queen of pop. The British don't need that because, of course, the British had a real queen. When you've got a real monarchy, you don't need to invent a monarchy.
You heard right. We call Michael Jackson the king of pop and Madonna the queen of pop because we crave a monarch. Okay, fine. That's just a silly opinion from some guy. A lot of what I actually saw on the British side was people saying that Americans are pretty self-centered to think an artist can only be considered successful or deserving of a movie if they're popular in America. And that's a valid point. I think many Americans can be pretty close-minded when it comes to pop culture, media, TV shows, music from anywhere else but here. Of course, there are many bands and TV shows and movies that are huge and beloved here in the States. But it is pretty commonly known in the industry that when it comes to entertainment and music and media, it is difficult to make it in America, whatever that means. There are artists like Robin, Little Mix, Kylie Minogue, Bjork. There's a good chance you've heard their name before or maybe even heard a song from them. But there are artists who are wildly popular and successful pretty much everywhere but the US. And I'm not trying to discredit their success. They still had a presence here in the States and are immensely talented artists. I'm just trying to say when you compare their success in the UK to their success in the US, it's crazy how much it differs. And I think it's strange that many Americans deem it necessary for an artist to be popular here in order to have a notable career or just generally be respected in the industry. So I may joke at Robbie's expense a bit in this video, but I'll say now, from what I've seen, I do like the guy. He seems pretty chill, and I like how he's handling Americans not knowing who he is.
Look, America, I'm big deal. Right? I know you don't know me, but it's like an anomaly. Something happened, you didn't dig it, it's okay. I still love you.
So you want to say to fans in America who might be experiencing your story for the first time?
Yeah, I'll speak to that one fan. Hi, Linda. You all right?
I respect the self-awareness and the lack of caring about his career in the United States. Because yeah, if I was that abundantly successful in my home country, I probably also wouldn't mind if my material didn't quite make it in another country. But he did have some projects that Americans are realizing that they had heard before. They just didn't know that it was him singing when they had heard it. Like he sang the closing credits to Cars 2 and Finding Nemo.
Somewhere beyond the sea.
To me, that pretty much locks in anyone in America born between 1990 to 2005 to have heard his voice before. Apparently in the UK, he's the best-selling British solo artist of all time, beating out huge names like Amy Winehouse and frickin' Adele, chart-topping Adele. That was a crazy fact to find out. Like, how have we never heard of him? His most popular song seems to be a song called Angels that came out in the late 90s. And this song is huge in the UK. They love that song. I guess it's like a big sing-along song that they play in the bars, or excuse me, pubs. I saw some people saying that Angels is to the British what Piano Man is to Americans. So I don't know if that connects any dots for you, but I'll let you do with that what you will. I had never heard this Angel song before, and when I looked it up, I saw it had almost 600 million streams on Spotify. That's a lot of streams. For comparison, these are some songs that came out around the same time that have either less or around the same amount of streams. And I consider these huge songs. It's just baffling me that this man has never come across mine or many Americans' radar before his trailer for his movie came out and started confusing us. Okay, we need to talk about this now. Why is he a monkey in this movie? What I had guessed is the monkey was a gimmick to pique people's interest in the movie, since they probably knew that people in America don't really know Robbie well, and probably wouldn't go see it in theaters without something like a monkey causing some intrigue.
We realized that there needed to be a creative difference with the biopic. We needed to have a unique selling point.
I was trying to find a way into the film creatively that I felt would do justice to the story.
And based on these clips, I seem to be mostly right. He does seem to identify with monkeys a bit.
And Michael Gracie, the director, came to me and he said, "So Rob, what is your spirit animal?" And I went, "I am a lion." And he went, "Are you there?" And I went, "Monkey?" And he went, "Yes."
But I think they were just kind of grasping at straws to get people to see the movie. I also saw some people saying Robbie Williams is a monkey in the film because he's a narcissist that doesn't want anyone else playing him. And I think that's a pretty crazy accusation to make about someone that you claim to know nothing about 2 hours ago. I'm not really sure where this narcissist narrative came from. I haven't seen it a ton, but I have seen it a bit from Americans. Maybe this quote could come off as narcissistic. It's very much a human story, but if you're watching it and someone's playing Robbie Williams, you're thinking, does he look like him? Does he act like him? Does he talk like him? And I mean, I understand his point. And like when I was watching Bohemian Rhapsody, I did compare Rami Malek to Freddie Mercury in my head throughout the movie. And when I was watching Rocket Man, I was comparing Taron Egerton to Elton John in my head also. Maybe people didn't like that he talked about himself in the third person. I know that can pretty quickly come off as egotistical, but in this particular context, when he's talking about himself as a character in a movie, I wouldn't look that hard into it, you know? Or maybe these people don't like that he is rightfully saying he is kind of a big deal.
Look, America, I'm big deal, right?
I can see how that can come off as pompous if the person listening has never heard of you. But after looking into him, I think honestly he has the right to say that. And I didn't know who he was last week. he is kind of a big deal, just not to Americans, and that's fine. He obviously had a large impact on the music industry outside of the States, and I think an artist of his magnitude should be given their flowers, even if they did never get their song to play on a radio station in Wyoming. Also, Robbie has talked about that not being popular in the United States and actively living in California has seemed to give him a somewhat normal day-to-day life. So that must be nice to be able to go from like huge star to any other lad walking down the street with one quick 11-hour flight. And getting back to the movie, I've seen many reviews, a lot of them paid reviews, but reviews nonetheless, saying the movie is surprisingly good. And the movie has an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 90% audience score. And I do love musicals. That's something I've really run into in the last few years. Should I go see this movie?
You analyze everyone you meet.
Alright, so I went and saw the movie about 2 days ago, and I feel like that's enough time to sit and absorb my thoughts of what I thought of the movie. So I didn't script this part of the video out, so if what I say sounds half-baked or jumbled, that's why. But I wanted it to just be like my off-the-cuff, honest opinion. And I'm not a film critic, so I'm not going to give any revolutionary takes here. But overall, I actually did like the movie. And I probably would recommend it to a friend who likes musicals. They do just break out into song, so if you don't like that, it may not be for you. I thought overall it was just really well done. I just feel like they put in a lot of effort to make things visually interesting, especially the first half of the movie. Once he gets into the boy band, from then to like his solo career, I was pretty hooked to the screen. And as for the musical numbers, I thought the choreography was so impressive. These like big group numbers, or even when it's just a duo doing their dance, like it was just very visually nice to look at. Like I said, I'm not a movie critic. Okay, and I must talk about the monkey. I like metaphors, even ones that are like super in your face, but I was hyper aware that he was a monkey for most of the movie. Like it wasn't something I was forgetting about. I just feel like it was taking me like out of the story more than I would have liked it to have, because why is the monkey doing sexual acts? Ew. That's the line that I was like, don't cross that line. There's nothing like home run in the movie, but they get on some bases there. I just found that a little weird. I think overall the movie could have done without the monkey, but I'm not super upset that it was there. Also in the movie, there was a bunch of times where they showed like ghost monkey, where it's supposed to be like him like talking to himself in his head kind of, but he like sees them. And it reminded me a lot of like Ghost Dad from Spider-Man 2. It was just a connection I made in my head from the very beginning. So every single time they showed the ghost monkey, which they did a lot, I was thinking of this guy. Overall rating, I would give it probably like a 7 out of 10. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today, but if you made it here to the end of the video, props to you. And be on the lookout for my biopic coming out next month. I know you've never heard of me before, but I'll be portrayed as a dancing pinky toe. So you'll have to see that, right? Whenever I wasn't actively giving an opinion in this video, I was trying to stay somewhat neutral on this Robbie Williams debate between the US and the UK. So I hope I didn't offend anyone from the UK. I like your Robbie. I liked his movie, and it's all jokes. And I'm sorry if I offended any Americans. I know I made some broad generalizations about us not liking foreign content. Obviously, that doesn't apply to every single person here in America. So if you do like foreign content, please take what I said with a grain of salt. If you've never seen or heard any foreign content, maybe look into it. If you are still here, I would really appreciate if you liked and subscribed to my channel. I do make new videos every week. And leave me a comment letting me know if you knew who Robbie Williams was before the Better Man press tour started. And also what you think of the monkey thing, because I'm still pretty torn. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching. Bye! Hi, I'm so sorry. I know I look crusty and dusty. I'm probably just gonna stick this at the very end of the video, but they are now making edits of the monkey. And these are some of the comments. I didn't talk about that at all when I was filming because I hadn't seen it. I feel required to mention it, so I'm just gonna tuck this in at the end here. Alright, that's all. Bye.